This morning, I weighed in at 397 pounds, which is up 6 pounds from last week. But that's not really what this video is about. You don't get to 560 pounds by being normal. On my journey so far of losing 170 pounds, I haven't really talked about the real reason why. What it's actually like to lose weight when your brain works against you constantly. We're going to talk about that today though. Addressing the weigh-in first. So there's a lot going on here. I had a party last night, so that certainly isn't helping the scale this morning. I've also been eating a lot of highly processed, salty foods this week, which we'll get to that in a bit. So a lot of this is probably water retention, and I wouldn't be surprised if I bounce back below 390 really quick, maybe even next week. So I'm not taking this number too seriously, but this does make my goal of hitting 350 pounds by the end of the year more difficult. We've pretty much burned through that 5-pound lead I had, so we'll see what it looks like next week. Here's the thing though, the number isn't really my issue. Let me tell you what's actually been going on. We're going to talk about binge eating disorder, what it feels like to deal with it, and how I've been trying to manage it while losing 170 pounds. Like I said before, you don't get to 560 pounds by being a normal person. Now, I'm not an expert on this at all, but it's something I've been dealing with my whole life. Obviously not super well, as I got so overweight, but here's what I want you to understand. It is possible to lose weight while suffering from it. I've lost about 170 pounds already. That's proof that it's possible. It's just a lot harder, and the road has been pretty rocky, as you've seen. Now, if you've never dealt with binge eating disorder, let me explain what it actually feels like. I can manage it most of the time, but periodically it's way worse. It comes in waves. Depression is usually what triggers it for me. And this week really led into that. I had very little free time, I couldn't sleep. I have a friend that's going through a lot of stuff in their life, and I've been talking to them about it, and that's been bringing me down, to be honest, on top of everything else. And so when I'm depressed and not preoccupied with something else, eating is pretty much all I think about, all I can think about. I've struggled with this on and off all year. Some weeks when I miss a week of posting a video, that's actually what's happening in the background. It's hard to talk about this stuff, but today I decided it would just be better to get it off my chest instead of shying away from it like I usually do. But it's like any other addiction really. You struggle to control yourself, you repeatedly do the opposite of what you actually want, and then after doing that, you feel even worse about yourself, which feeds into the bad behavior even more. And the worst part is, unlike most other addictions, you can't just quit cold turkey. You have to still eat. So you have to face this thing all the time, head on. Well, that was a bit heavier than I usually get. You might be wondering if there's anything that has actually helped me. Again, not an expert in this, but I have found 3 things that I usually do that do help me, but they're not perfect solutions, but they do help me. Number 1, have a rigid diet, but not too rigid. This is one of the big reasons that I'm actually doing alternate day fasting. If I have a fairly structured plan to stick to, it helps me out mentally, but it can't be too strict. There's a very fine balance there. It has to be manageable or I'll just break out of it, kind of like I did this week. But so far, ADF has been a pretty good line. Number 2 is not keeping a lot of snackable foods in the house. I'm not gonna lie, this one really sucks, especially with alternate day fasting, because I hate meal prepping, so I usually take small snackable things to work on my eating days to break my fast before I can get home and eat an actual meal. But keeping them in the house, as I felt this week, isn't really a good move. Literally having nothing to grab to eat when I'm depressed makes a big difference. It's not like I'm gonna wanna cook in that situation, so usually that can actually stop me from eating. You might not like the answer for my 3rd thing. It's a bit controversial, but the GLP-1 injections really can help with this too. If you've been following me from the beginning, you'll know that I've been taking Zepbound for a while now, and I've tried Wegovy as well. They certainly don't fix everything. It's not a magic bullet for weight loss like some people think it is. There have been periods on it where I've gained weight, but it definitely helps the mental side of things, and the physical side. The main problem is how expensive it is. I personally am very fortunate to have insurance that covers it, but I know not everyone is, so it's not an option for everyone. Now, I commonly see that therapy is a good path to go down to help fix binge eating disorder, and that's just not a road I've gone down yet. Although I probably should, as the more weight I lose, these setbacks will hurt more because they'll set me back more, right? I really just haven't been able to bring myself to that point yet. I like to fix things myself. It's just one of my flaws. So, if you're dealing with this, here's what I want you to know. You're not alone in your struggle. I'm not alone in my struggle. And it is possible to make progress with this, to live your life with this. Everyone has things that they have to deal with in life. This is just yours, and you can get through it. I'm down 170 pounds. I honestly never thought I'd make that much progress, but it's proof that progress is possible. Looking ahead to next week, we'll see where the scale lands. I really think I could easily be under 390 pounds again with all that water weight dropping off. I'm not giving up on my 350 pound goal at the end of the year yet. We'll see what happens. Be sure to subscribe to be here when we find out next week how it's looking. And if you're dealing with binge eating too, let me know in the comments. And let me know how you deal with it. I certainly will take any advice I can get. Thanks for following along with my journey, y'all. It really means a lot. Peace.